Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. Now, usually it is my custom to not know anything about a book before reading it. This was an exception because I actually watched another booktuber reviewing this book or another book by the author, I don't know. And the reason I did that was, one, because I did not expect to read this anyway. Two, I have seen this book in particular all over BookTube. The booktuber I watched actually liked Sally Rooney's writing style, but she was very specific that a lot of readers are divided on Rooney's writing. Especially, I think she said her plots are not really clear, the conflicts are not really clear. They are more character-driven stories, and either you like the characters and you care about their life, or you don't. And that's basically what her books consist of. It's just you're going along with these characters, you don't know exactly where, but that is it. So they're very character-driven stories, I think. Now, even after watching that booktuber's review, I still did not really intend to ever read this book. However, I would like to review some more current popular books on this channel, because mainly a lot of the books I review, I don't think many people are reading or searching on YouTube. I mean, how many people are like looking up Return of the Indian or Last of the Mohicans book review? Not many. Most people are talking about all these current books, which usually I do not really like. I just don't really like current popular things. I think so many of them are just overrated and crap. So I generally like to read older things, literary classics, things I should have been reading around high school and I'm finally getting around to now. But like I said, those don't get very many views on YouTube, so I want to read more current books. And so the other day I went to the library and I got 5 books, and this was one of them. Even though I watched the review, I did not really remember anything about the plot specifically, so I didn't know what to expect. But that ultimately didn't matter. I read one full paragraph in the start of the second, and a major red flag popped up. And that is that this book does not have any quotation marks whatsoever for dialogue. I have seen that in maybe one other book, as well as this one, Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton. But at least with this one, the author uses hyphens to start lines with dialogue. But this book does not have that. It just has no quotation marks whatsoever. And for me, that is a deal breaker. I am just not reading something like that. I know I have a lot of things that irk me as a reader, but this is something where I am just determined on this. You have to put quotation marks in dialogue. I read something from the author. She was asked why she doesn't use quotation marks, and she said something like, oh, well, I just don't think they're necessary, so I just have never used them. So I just write in the sentence, the words just flow, and I don't use quotation marks. And I just completely disagree with that. My brain is like hardwired to read quotation marks. If they are missing, it is just so distracting because I will be in the middle of this line and then realize, oh, wait, this was dialogue? Who's speaking this? It's just such a... you have to use quotation marks. I don't care who you are. Use quotation marks. And even though the writer thinks they aren't necessary, I think they are. And I think that is just some kind of arrogance just to think, oh, well, I don't want to use them. I've never used them, whatever. Well, do you also use periods, or do you capitalize words? Or why not just have no spaces between words? Just like in ancient Greek, they didn't do that. Or why don't you be like Chinese writing and just have it go from right to left instead of left to right? Why don't you have it written from bottom to top instead of top to bottom? Why not just make up your own rules as you go? So just don't use punctuation, don't have spaces between words, don't have any kind of capitalization. Why not just don't use commas? Why do you need commas? Just don't use commas. So it is just such an arrogant thing, I think, just to think, oh, well, I've never used them, so I'm not going to use them. I don't feel like they're necessary. They are necessary. People's brains are hardwired to know that you see quotation marks, that lets you know this is dialogue. If there's no quotation marks, your brain thinks, oh, this is narration. And then you find out, oh, no, this is supposed to be dialogue. So, I don't have too many firm rules, like where I just say you have to write this certain way. But this is one of them. I think you have to use quotation marks, everyone. And because of that, because there was no quotation marks in this book, I read one full paragraph, the start of a second, I saw that there was no quotation marks. I checked the rest of the book and saw that throughout the book, no quotation marks. And at that point, I just knew, nope, I am not reading this crap. This author is like permanently dead to me. I don't care how popular her books are. And if you like her books, that's fine. Your brain may just be hardwired differently than mine. Or if you can just look past that, that is fine. That's all good, well for you. But I can't do that. It just drives me crazy. My brain cannot process that. I cannot read this. I cannot enjoy it because I would just, every single line where there is no quotation marks, it would drive me crazy. So I can't enjoy this book as a result of that. And it may be the best book in the world, but without quotation marks, I just can't read it. And so why would you do that? Why would you alienate so many readers? Because I guarantee you, there's a lot of other readers who are off-put by no quotation marks. So why would you alienate all those readers just because you are too lazy to put in quotation marks, or you think, oh no, I'm just too perfect to use quotation marks? Use quotation marks always. That goes for all writers. I don't care who you are. Use quotation marks. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because that's all I read about that book, and that's all I'm going to read from this author. So just for fun, I want to run through the rest of my currently reading books. I mentioned I got 5 books from the library. The others are Catherine Center, Things You Save in a Fire. I just saw this book on one of the booktubers I'm subscribed to, their channel, just yesterday, I think, so I picked it up. The other is Hello Sunshine by Laura Dave. Laura Dave wrote another book that is currently really popular. I don't know the title of it, but I could not find it at the library. I think the book is Malibu Rising, but they did not have it at the library that I could find, so I saw there was this one, Hello Sunshine, so I got it. Oops, I guess I only got 4 books from the library. But the 4th one is Andy Weir, Project Hail Mary. So I read his book, The Martian, and I liked it pretty well. And it was good enough that I definitely wanted to give his books another read. So they had like every book he's written. I think this may be his 3rd book. But this is the book that's really going around BookTube, so I wanted to read this one first. So there is that. Each of these books, I just got them yesterday. I am on page 30 or 40 of each of them, and I like them fairly well. So I'm already further along than I am with the other book. So the other one I just read a paragraph and 1 sentence. These I'm actually on the 3rd or 4th or 5th chapter, and I'm liking them reasonably well. The other books I'm currently reading are Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift, and I'm liking that pretty well. The Alchemist's Apprentice by Walter Moores. Val Kilmer's Memoirs, I'm Your Huckleberry. In the Lake of the Woods by Tim O'Brien. And Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. And I'm almost finished with this one. I just have about 100 pages to go. Maybe 60 pages, something like that. Anyway, that is it for this review. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!